Hexagon in conversation with Paolo Guglielmini.
Hello and welcome to this very special conversation. I'm Mridu Bhandari. Today, rapid digitalization is transforming every aspect of our lives, causing a big data explosion of sorts. Now, this data, if harnessed effectively and efficiently, can lead to significantly better outcomes, not just for business, but also for life. One company that envisions a future where data is leveraged fully and autonomously is Hexagon, a Swedish multinational that has actually been present in India for the last 30 years. So today I'm in conversation with the president and CEO of the company, Paolo Guglielmini, and he's visiting India, and I'm in conversation with him here in New Delhi. Paolo, thank you so much for joining us here today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
And first up, let me ask you the question, how has the India trip been so far and what brings you here?
We're excited to be here in India, and I'm excited to be here for multiple reasons. I have the pleasure and the privilege to lead a company of 25,000 people, a lot of exciting technologies. 3,000 of those are here in India. So there's a ton of energy, innovation, and talent. And we love to look after our people and understand how we can serve them better and be the best possible employer. But then, of course, India is a fantastic market, right? So a lot of growth. Hexagon is a relatively new company and a relatively young company. So we're all about growth, and we're all about growth of portfolios and, of course, commercial growth. And we look up to India in terms of leadership for solutions that can be developed for this market and moved outside of the boundaries of the country.
So for the benefit of our lay viewers, give us a sense of what your technology does in our daily lives and how are we interacting with it, and what is the innovation roadmap looking like for you?
So the data that we talk about is three-dimensional data. So we are a reality technology company that is best in class in measuring and positioning in the 3D space anything that is physical, right? From land to components, from products to factories, right? And then building a better version of that reality using software, using analytics, visualization, everything that in the digital space allows you to improve the quality of design, improve the quality of your manufacturing outcomes, or make your processes more effective. A lot of applications for what we do. The company is organized on 5 divisions that are dedicated to different industrial segments, from discrete manufacturing, automotive, aerospace, consumer electronics, to process industries, so life sciences and petrochemical, just to mention 2. We operate in the governmental space, everything that has got to do with safety and security. We have a division focused on autonomous solutions, predominantly for mining, defense, agriculture. And then last but not least, we operate in the infrastructure and construction sector, which of course is booming in a lot of countries like in India.
Right, absolutely. So what really makes Hexagon a global leader in this space? You just spoke about digital reality solutions, autonomous software. What's your USP? What makes you a global leader in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, we have by far the best technology for digitization, right? So think about a mobile phone that needs to be measured so accurately. Think about an aircraft that has blades and blisks in an engine that need to be manufactured with the best possible quality requirements. Think about a car, think about batteries, think about the construction sector, building bridges, right? Or think about moving assets, tractors, just to mention one, or assets that are moving in an open pit mine. So we like to be best in class at doing that, and what we have grown into over time is a fantastic software portfolio to make sure that that data brings value. So we follow that data through its journey, and we make sure that every time that we combine software technology, visualization, collaboration technologies, and AI, that data becomes more and more valuable so that you can go and iterate on the next better version of those products and processes.
Right. Great to hear the number of sectors and industries you're actually serving. Give us a sense of, when you foresee or you're looking at the future of different industries, how do you foresee autonomous technology and software really reshaping entire industries, say maybe in the next decade or so?
Yeah, great question. We think we have a value proposition that is very future ready. If you think about the challenges that the world has to meet and beat for the next 10, 20 years, from growing to more mature economies. If you think of mature economies, one of the biggest challenges is going to be decarbonization, just to mention one, green economy and building everything in a more sustainable fashion. Or think about labor shortages, right? With a lot of the industries that we have just talked about that unfortunately are not going to have the labor force to go and build in the same way as we do today. So every time that you digitize competence, every time that you use autonomy technology, physical automation or digital automation, you are ready for that sort of future. In a country like India, simply an example, infrastructure, right? You have this phenomenal opportunity to build a country that is absolutely business friendly, and you have this amazing opportunity of doing it, building fresh infrastructure, new infrastructure. You can do it using technologies that is best in class, like in the case of Hexagon, of course.
Yeah. Well, speaking of India, you did mention that it's a critical part of your global operations. You have about 24,500 employees. Your net sales are over 5.4 billion euros. Give us a sense of who your major global customers are. Any impact stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we work with global leaders, as I said before, from consumer electronics to commercial aerospace. We work with the likes of Airbus and Boeing. We work with GE and Snecma. But of course, we apply our technologies in automotive, right? And in automotive, in the last couple of years, we have seen all of the investment in green transportation coming from the traditional players, right? The like of the German groups, as well as the companies that are based in Detroit that have been manufacturing cars with certain technologies for a very long time, and now they are about to manage this shift. But of course, we also work with innovators in the sector. Construction is a fascinating industry that is highly fragmented, but with really the opportunity to build a value chain that is more coherent, moving that industry to the next level of financial sort of efficiency. So we pride ourselves with working with one of the most exciting roster of customers on the planet, and that's clearly the case as well in India. So one of the reasons why I'm here is to meet with some of these customers and listen to our teams and try to understand what is it that we can do from a global perspective to enable this team being as successful as possible, right?
Right. So apart from infrastructure, what are the other sectors where you see huge opportunity areas, particularly in India?
Well, I mean, we've talked about infrastructure, and another example could be the world of mining, right? Where you have, it's so critical to build the economical background that the country needs for its future development. But you're talking about an industry that is challenged with technical complexity as well as safety and security issues. So those technologies come in handy not only from a waste reduction perspective, but also just to make sure that you do business in the most sustainable possible way.
While we are on the topic of being in India, also give us a sense of how your R&D center here has evolved over the years. What sort of an innovation hub is India for you today? And what are the major R&D focus areas for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I would say India has moved from being a technology development center to being a true hub, right? As the word means, it's become a small hexagon, right? We have, as you said earlier, almost 3,000 people here. Let's say 2,000 working on innovation, and the rest really addressing the needs of the local market. Mostly it's about software development, what we do here in India, and of course it's a phenomenal opportunity for a group like Hexagon to tap into a workforce that is excited, that is highly knowledgeable, versatile in terms of software development skills, right? So from point cloud to modern architectures, from cloud to advanced analytics, we find here fertile ground and people that are super excited to use their skills and develop innovation into the future. So again, I'm here to understand and learn and support, and we're super excited about the footprint that we have here.
Right. And what are future investments in the R&D center or R&D at large in India going to look like?
Yeah, we're going to keep on being aggressive from a localization perspective. I think there's better and better quality in terms of the projects that we develop here in India, and quality in terms of the solutions that are developed here that we leverage commercially abroad. So yeah, what I would like to see into the future is more and more solutions that are homegrown, that have been conceived and designed here, developed for consumption of the global market. More and more when we do hackathons and innovation events here in India, we find practical applications for the innovation that the local team works on. So we only want to see that grow.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to head into a short break right now, but the conversation continues right here on CNBC TV 18. Stay with us.
Hexagon, in conversation with Paolo Guglielmini.
Welcome back. I'm in conversation with the President and CEO of Hexagon, Paolo Guglielmini, who's visiting India. Paolo, well, we are talking today about autonomous technology and software and how it's going to reshape industries. But I also want to touch upon your personal journey a little bit. And you moved from COO to CEO last year. How has the ride been? You've been with Hexagon for about 14 years, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So what are the growth goals that you're chasing this year as CEO?
Yeah, look, I mean, I have a passion for the group. It's a passion that is born from the moment I've realized how important the customers that we serve are, right? Hexagon is a group that, as for many others that I've developed in a short time frame, is a group that can build even more its brand. So building brand and making sure that people know who we are and what we do is part of my mission, certainly for 2024 and beyond. I've been excited to lead multiple businesses within Hexagon, including its largest division for the last couple of years. And then I've used my role as COO to learn about everything else that Hexagon does outside of discrete manufacturing. I mean, in terms of the roadmap for the future, we're very focused on building a business that is, from an operational perspective, very effective. We want to have the best innovation roadmap. We think that we are very engineering focused, and we could be even more user-friendly in the way we allow consumption for our technology. And then as for other groups that go through a transformation journey, we try and make sure that we can deploy all of that technology in a simple way from a commercial perspective. So for 2024 and beyond, in order to fulfill our 2026 financial plan, we have an ambitious set of goals and change management projects that we work on. So it's a fun journey.
So while we're talking about growth, how important is inorganic growth to you? Is it part of your strategy? Any mergers, acquisitions that you're looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. Hexagon has been acquisitive in the past because we saw the potential of value creation coming from 3D and really combining software and sensor to solve these problems. We've done a lot of M&A in the past. We're very focused on transforming that into organic growth and synergies, but we're constantly on the lookout for technologies that can make that value proposition even more powerful.
Right. And in all your experience of emerging markets, when you think about India and its performance in its niche technologies, you know, what's your outlook? You know, what's your experience been like?
The experience has been very positive. I also find that in the last years, there's more and more acquisition targets that come from India. So I think We're constantly going to try and be more sophisticated in the way we come to market in India, also in consideration of the effort that the government here is making in terms of investments and in terms of localization. But there's such a high quality of innovation that happens here. Something else that I've noticed is that if you compare the best practices that we find around the globe and the way in which Indian companies deploy those technologies, we find that there's more and more inspiration that can be taken abroad from workflows that are developed here and solutions that are developed and embraced here. So it's a very exciting, vibrant place to do business in.
Right. And you're also partnering with TMEN, which is the Technology Innovation in Exploration and Mining Foundation, to establish a one-of-its-kind center of excellence with a significant focus on digital mining and monitoring in mines. So give us a sense of what you're trying to achieve with this and what's the role that Hexagon is going to be playing here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked earlier about the potential of the mining industry, and this is part of a strategy to try and make sure that we help and support in the best possible way customers as they deploy solutions here. I would say that's an example of how entrepreneurial Hexagon tries to be. At the end of the day, you want to have, in Swedish tradition, you want to have a small headquarter and you want to try and be as local as possible, because the way in which technology is consumed needs to be localized. So we roll out these partnerships to make sure that technology becomes consumable in the way and in the form that the local market needs.
Right. And one of the significant aims of TMEN is to actually achieve safe, smart, and sustainable mining. So on these fronts, what's the role that Hexagon is going to be playing?
I mean, as we said before, from a sustainability and safety perspective, it is about resources optimization, waste reduction, in the mining context, but also in transportation and all of the transportation applications that come sort of from pit to mine and vice versa. But then it's got to do a lot with operators. So we have technology solutions that sort of use accurate positioning, sort of AI technologies to make sure that operators are alert and alerted, that are trained in the best possible way. And there's a big trend towards these applications, not only here in India, but I would say around the globe.
Right. And overall, what's your outlook on how the Indian mining sector can really harness digital solutions? It's something that's new. Mining is a traditional legacy sector in India. What's the outlook?
Yeah, it might be traditional, but I think the companies that we talk to here in India are completely embracing the wave of digitization that is going through the mining sector across the planet. So yeah, a lot of interest for autonomous solutions, digitization. It's an industry that lends itself well to digital transformation because of its relative concentration. And we like those industries in which there's a set of practices, best practices, or the likes that are in place, and we can show a better way of doing things, a more green and more sustainable and more financially viable of doing things, and guide the industry through transformation.
Right. And finally, what are some of the biggest, macro risks that you're looking out for over the next couple of years?
Well, look, the macro risks in my book are always to not be fast enough, I would say. I think we're very well set up in terms of the capabilities of the group, in terms of innovation. It's my job and the job of the leadership team to keep the company very entrepreneurial. Because if you move fast, any challenge that the market will bring to you, it's something that you're going to be able to cope with, right? So we want to keep that spirit and we want to keep it an exciting place to be in and get the best talent through the door to help us push that strategy into the future.
And Paolo, tell us about the exciting MOU that you're signing here today for more business in India.
Yeah, we're talking about a business development initiative and innovation initiative around mining. A lot of technologies that we want to bring to bear for the Indian market, but we want to rely on sort of the expertise of the local market to make sure that we decline those technologies in the right way for the consumption and the usage that local mining companies want to do of that. So we look forward to a fruitful collaboration into the future.
Well, all the best for that, and thank you very much for joining us here today. Well, with that, it's a wrap of this special conversation. News and updates continue on CNBC TV 18. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
The MOU that was signed today here at the Swedish Embassy in New Delhi will really pave the way for a much closer collaboration between Sweden, India, between TMEN in the mining sector here in India and Hexagon. We really see that the future lies in a green and sustainable direction, and we will never reach our green and sustainable goals if we don't go through innovation and digitalization. And that's exactly what this agreement is symbolizing, and that's what Hexagon is proposing to India.
This Center of Excellence, which we are setting up along with TMEN, is going to be taking care of all the technologies, starting from even when you're going to acquire the land, to do the survey, to do the mine planning, to do the exploration, doing the drill blasting, doing the, I would say, the operations, whether it's fleet management and even otherwise, all the operations you carry. The MOA which we signed today is very relevant, as we are going to bring the best possible technologies of Hexagon into this Center of Excellence. And we are going to deploy for the technology for the entire spectrum of a mine. So this is going to be beneficial to all stakeholders. First of all, the students will learn a lot of these new technologies. They are the future leaders. Also, the customers, which are situated nearby this Center of Excellence, are going to make use of it because they can get exposed to latest technology and they can deploy in their own mines.
Hexagon, in conversation with Paolo Guglielmini.